The Yellow Pages. But why yellow? Legend has it that one day in 1883, Cheyenne, Wyoming printer Reuben H. Donnelly was busy printing the latest edition of the phone directory when he unexpectedly ran out of white paper. Not wanting to put off production for weeks until another shipment of white paper would arrive, he instead resorted to finishing the job with the only other stock available in the shop, yellow paper. Subscribers quickly noticed how easy it was to find these yellow pages amid piles of white-hued publications. Their positive feedback inspired Donnelly to produce the first official Yellow Pages phone book 3 years later. Soon, using yellow for telephone business directories became the standard worldwide, and the term Yellow Pages became a household name. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
Fox Facts.
For many people, coffee is more than just a drink. It's a vital part of their morning routine. The rich aroma and warm sip of that first cup, especially when brewed from freshly ground beans, can be the perfect way to kickstart the day. But did you know that coffee beans aren't actually beans? They're seeds. Specifically, they are seeds from the coffee cherry, a small fruit that starts off green and ripens to a bright red or yellow as it matures on the coffee plant. Inside each cherry, you'll typically find two seeds, which we commonly refer to as coffee beans, with the two main species used in the coffee industry being Arabica and Robusta. The term bean comes from their resemblance to true beans, but botanically they belong to a different category. After being harvested from the cherries, these seeds go through a series of processes, drying, roasting, and grinding, before they transform into the coffee we know and love. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
You are listening to Veterans with Benefits on 93.3 FM, The Point, with your hosts Anthony Tyron and Corinna Balesta.
Hello, welcome back. You're listening to us on 93.3 The Point. You can call into 671-888-TALK. Of course, we always start with our sponsors. Thank you to Ambrose Inc., Zoilo.org, Hebzibah Clinic, Domino's Pizza, Guam Eco Surfaces, American Legion, and Elevensies. Woohoo! This is from Elevensies. They're the coffee shop right behind the radio station. And who were we talking to over there, Anthony?
Shireen.
Miss Shireen.
Yeah, she wanted us to make her popular. So Shireen over Elevensies and all your friends that are listening out there, if they're not, she's the best.
Yes. Oh, and they offer 11% discount for veterans, active duty and veterans.
All right. Thank you, Shireen. We'll see you again.
Yes. And of course, we always start with the Veteran of the Week. Veteran of the Week is retired Master Sergeant Clifford Duenas. He served 30 years in the U.S. Army, beginning his career as a soldier in the 75th Ranger Regiment. He later served as a military paralegal. He transitioned to an 18 Charlie Special Forces Engineer Sergeant, eventually serving as an 18 Zulu Special Forces Team Sergeant. He closed out his military service as a senior military science instructor at the University of Guam Senior Reserve Officer Training Corps, where he trained, mentored, and developed future officers for the United States Army. Upon retiring from Guam, Master Sergeant Duenas continued to serve his community as an Army instructor for the Simon Sanchez High School ROTC. His passion for guiding youth is evident in his roles as a wrestling, cross-country, and track and field coach at Simon Sanchez High School, where he mentors future leaders of Guam. He's also deeply involved in the community service through his leadership roles in the Brotherhood of Veterans Motorcycle Club. He serves as the 5K event coordinator, public relations representative, and head of Rules and Regulation Committee. His dedication extends to supporting various organizations, including Guam Diabetes Association for Diabetes Awareness, Veterans of Guam Funeral Escorts, Wreaths Across America, Mayor's Council Run, and more. Two of his sons have followed in his footsteps and are both serving in the U.S. Army. So congratulations to Master Sergeant Clifford Duenas as Veteran of the Week. All right.
Don't forget to get over to Domino's Pizza.
Yes.
Thanks to Dane Titano, who is a veteran, and without any hesitation, said he would gladly sponsor the Veteran of the Week and give them a free pizza. So those of you that are friends with our Veteran of the Week, he will be getting free pizza. So go hit him up and get a slice.
All right. And then veteran tip of the week. So veteran tip of the week is if you have a My Healthy Vet username and password, it will no longer be you'll no longer be able to use it as of January 31st, 2025. So if you do have DS login, that will work until September 30th. And then if you don't have a VA.gov account, try and create an ID.me or login.gov. And login.gov is hard to create. However, if you choose verify at the post office, that's fine. You just have to print the QR code, take it to the post office, and get verified. Did you want to say hello to someone?
I usually say hello to Aaliyah and Knox.
All right. And then before we go any further, so we have question of the week. And so if you want to ask us a question, we'll answer it on the next show. You can email us at veteranswithbenefitsguam@gmail.com. So the question that we received through Messenger was, how do I apply for VA healthcare? So on Guam, first, of course, you have to determine your eligibility. So for most veterans are eligible for healthcare services, especially with the new law, with the PACTEC expansion that happened earlier this year. So on Guam, if you were exposed to toxins at your home base, you didn't have to be deployed. Take your DD-214 to the CBOC, which is a community-based outpatient clinic, and tell the nice ladies there that you want to apply for VA healthcare. And then if you qualify, then they'll take your picture and you should get an ID within 10 days. So normally you can do that here in Guam, or you can apply online, va.gov, or by mail. You can print the 1010 Easy online, fill it out, and mail it in. Or you can apply in person, which, like I said, you can apply it on Guam, the CBOC. Or you can apply by phone, which is 1-877-222-VETS, VETS. And that's available Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then if you want to check the status of your application, of course, if you do it online, you can log into va.gov. You should also receive a confirmation that you applied by mail. So that's the question. And that was your answer.
That's for registering for healthcare, right?
Yes, registering for healthcare.
And there are a lot of changes regarding applying for healthcare. In the past, you needed to have a certain
percentage
income threshold, right?
Yes.
And that's no longer the case with some of the new PACT Act expansion, correct?
Yes.
And furthermore, we also know that the folks that are, for example, if you don't have a lot of resources, right, you're allowed to go up there, and the CBOC or the VA will allow you to get health care if you're a veteran. That's one. If you have a percentage, like you were saying, you're allowed to go up there, and because of your percentage, you will receive a certain amount of care. In some instances, you may have to do a copay, and the higher you get in your percentage, when you start hitting 40 or 50, it's usually pretty much you'll get just about anything you need from the VA. 50 is the actual magic number. If you hit 50%, you get just about anything. The other one was if you went to combat. If you were in combat, get your butt up to the CBOC and register. We know a lot of veterans out there who have been to combat and have not registered or gone to apply for their benefits. So if you don't want to apply for your benefits, at least get up there and get your health care, because it's free. So those are the ways that you can do it. Either you meet the income threshold, you've been to combat, you're getting a percentage, but now there are even more new ways to ensure that you get your health care. A few things is they started to do the Terra portion of it, which talks about your MOS or your job skill. If you, for example, were exposed to a lot of things like aircraft fumes, jet fuel, and things of that nature, it's your chemical and environmental hazards that you've been exposed to, that now, and that's without being deployed to combat. So you'd be able to do that if you were just stationed at a regular location at one of our bases and you get exposed. you can actually apply for health care. So that's another way to get into that. Folks that have been to like Camp Lejeune, those folks are also folks that if you meet the timeline, you can get up there and get some benefits as well because of the water situation that had happened out there in Camp Lejeune. The folks that have been here on Guam, if you were stationed on Guam or you swore in from Guam during the Agent Orange exposure time frame, you are able to go up there and get some health care. So, did I go too far?
No.
We're good?
No.
Okay. So,
I
what
think
what
we
is
can-
it you need?
I think we can introduce our guests.
Our guests. So,
Yes.
should we start with the local guy first?
Sure.
And then we'll let him introduce our
Yes.
guest.
Yes.
So the man that we have here needs no introduction. He is one of the famous people on island, has been here for so long. He's almost like he's from Guam. He's actually spent more time on Guam than he has from where he actually came from. So he's a bona fide Chamorro. But his name is Chris Turan, and he is the commander of the Guam American Legion.
Post 1.
Post 1. So, welcome, sir, and tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I'm 6'5" and 25 years old.
Ooh, the ladies. They're coming.
Oh, can we make sure?
Oh,
Yeah, just speak into it. Yeah, there you go.
and I'm not trained for radio.
Well, you got a
Just so
face
you
for
know.
radio. Really handsome.
Thank you. Got some recent designs put on there. We've got yeah, as Tony said, I've been here since I'm a teenager, and I'm also graduated of University of Guam, class of 1986.
Oh, wow.
And I've been the commander for the American Legion this is my second year, actually. Okay. I'm a 27-year veteran, original member who stood up the 44th APS up at Anderson Air Force Base. Okay. And shout out to all my retiree friends that are in the 44th. Okay. But the reason we're here, because our national commander has come out, and he's here to help us bring some national exposure to some of the concerns that we have out here for our veterans here on Guam and in the outer islands. Okay? So with that, I'm going to let him say his name because I haven't gotten it right since I met him. Okay? And I'm trying not to get hurt.
All right.
Sir, if you will.
No. Thanks, Chris, and thank you, Anthony and Karina, for the invitation to join y'all and everything.
We're happy to have you.
Yes.
We're actually honored. We're tired, but very honored to be here. We just got in at 5 o'clock this morning. I think
Oh,
I've had like an
wow.
hour's sleep so far.
You guys hit the ground running.
Chris,
Well, we just came in from Taiwan.
what,
So.
what kind of, how do you do that to our guests?
We are soldiering, sir.
Oh, but we are, okay.
He said, wait and see what tomorrow brings. But my name's James LaCourcier. I'm a 30-year member of the American Legion.
Oh, wow.
I'm currently served as the National Commander of the American Legion. Back home, I'm from Connecticut,
Okay.
and I work for the Soldier Sailors Marine Fund, which is temporary financial assistance for veterans and their families, which is food, clothing, shelter.
Oh,
We
wow.
also assist with burial benefits. We'll assist the spouse with eyeglasses, hearing aids, things that she doesn't necessarily have access to. The veteran will help him out with dental care if he's not 100% service connected, because if they're not 100% service connected,
They
the
don't
veteran
get
doesn't
dental.
have access to the dental care.
Yes.
So we assist with that.
Wow, and that's coming from the Legion?
Well, yeah,
Or from-
back in Connecticut. This
Yes.
is strictly Connecticut.
Yes.
It's a Connecticut-only program now.
Good.
The American the state of Connecticut actually started the fund back in 1919, which was the same time period that the American Legion was forming.
Right.
And with our returning soldiers coming home, they wanted to sit back and give them a small stipend check of $16 each.
Oh,
And then the legislation discussed, and they said, well, they're going to sit back and they're going to spend it on cigars, derby, hats, and liquor, So we got to find something better to do with it. So they talked with some of the returning soldiers, and they said, well, why don't you go ahead and start a fund for the next generation?
awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
So they all refused taking their $16 stipend check, or most of them did. I'm sure some took it. But
Yeah.
And then from there, with tax on liquor and tobacco for X number of years, the fund grew, until we were able to become self-sufficient. Today, the fund's 100% self-sufficient. We have over $73 million in the fund.
Oh, wow.
We're able to take care of the veterans and families in Connecticut just off the interest annually.
73 million, that's small peanuts compared to the $1 billion buildup that we have up there. but that's a substantial amount. I actually was toying around with an idea similar to that, but out here it's so difficult, right? How do we get, like, for example, all of our veterans out here into a program where, for example, we fundraise to pay for example, a life insurance for them, and that life insurance can almost do the same thing you're talking about, where a portion of it goes to the family, the other one goes back into our nonprofit or a fund similar to yours, so that it can build, for example. But yours was easier and started a long time ago. So
I appreciate it. I see where you're going with that, Chris. Anthony, you're trying to put me under the table already. We're right along that line. Though. We just had a fantastic session with the senator and everything.
Awesome. Yeah,
and that went very well. So.
And what you're doing, I'm really trying to learn and see how that had happened, so that maybe that could be the route for us here as well, because as you know, we're far away, and there's a lot of things that folks don't get to see, and some of the things out here is we don't have the numbers like you might have out there, right? When we say that, we only have a small group of folks that we would consider, hey, this is where we can get folks to be putting money into a fund of some sort, or leave it there for an extended period of time. So, but we'll gladly learn from you.
Yeah, you're right though, and that's a big discussion that we had with the senator and everything. No matter what we do, like the growth of our organization, the strength of our organization, the growth of our military, the growth of our family, the growth of our community, everything's based on numbers.
Yes.
We're looking at numbers. And what we're trying to explain to the senator, in order to get more accessibility and more tools and resources here on this beautiful island of Guam and everything for the veterans and their families.
Right.
And their families. You got to keep that in mind, because the families serve with the veterans.
Yes.
But everything's based on numbers, and we need to get real numbers. They have to find a way to get real numbers of what the true veteran population is and the true family aspect is, veteran related. Because we know approximately how many active duty military we have serving here. Not every veteran here in Guam is accounted for.
Nope.
You're absolutely right.
So how you guys opened up the program? I love that, because you were encouraging people to get into the VA healthcare system.
Yes.
And even if they don't have, and I like that, because you were talking about not just disability claims, not just for that purpose.
Right.
I myself, I'm category 8.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You know how we have the categories.
Yes, Party 1,
So
2,
yes,
3, 4,
I do
5.
pay the co-pays and everything.
Oh, okay.
I pay co-pays. But you know what? Me going in twice a year, getting full-blown physical, okay, getting CAT scans done, to have my lungs monitored for my cigarettes, okay, but and all the other quirks. But to sit back and pay a couple $100 a year, and I don't worry about it, because what I do is I go in, I make my appointments. When I get my bill in the mail from the VA, I let it go until tax time, because the government's going to take it out anyways, so I don't worry about it, But I'm enrolled in the VA healthcare system, and I was actually in the VA healthcare system. I was in the VA healthcare system for a few years before I even started using it.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't really start using it until I was literally identified and tagged to start moving towards the national commander. That's when they wanted to make sure my health is okay, so that I had to start doing annual physicals and things like that.
Oh, interesting.
But I was probably in the system, enrolled in the VA healthcare for about 3 or 4 years before I started using it. And I did that because I was encouraged to, just in case I need it someday.
Right. And you're absolutely right. And a lot of our veterans, right, they're quite, we're all veterans here, right? But we have this, like, it's been instilled in our brains that, hey, you're not first. You take care of everybody, and then they take care of you. So even up until the day when we get out, we're not out there saying, give it to me, right? It's like, hey, wait a minute, I got to go do these things, and I was trained I have to have this and do this and set these things up, and that's my job, right? And that's my mission. And when they give us that mission, right, it's very difficult for us to just say, oh, how do I take care of me? You know, and we find that quite a bit. There's some folks that might be even sitting in this room that we know that, you know, we're doing just that. No, I'm okay. I'm working. Maybe it's not my, you know, I don't necessarily need it. You know, I'm still working. I got a job. I have my own, you know, healthcare insurance other than what's existing. And maybe for them, right, it's like, hey, that's okay. And in some instances, when we look at that, especially out here, it's the numbers of us getting up to the CBOC is what VA is looking at to give us resources out here. And maybe for us to at least just say, all right, you know what, just sign up and get the numbers so that they can count us, you know. That's a push I think that we're looking for.
That's exactly why I kept smiling at you just now. I wasn't trying to get cute with you or wink. That's why I did not wink once.
But that's okay. We're in a new era.
Well, the one thing we did learn in Taiwan though is love.
Oh, awesome.
But, you know, right along that line though, yeah. I mean. I like the way you put that because that's what it is we all had that pride, that personal pride.
Yes.
Because it was instilled in us, and we were always afraid of commandants or superiors knowing what's going on in our personal life even.
Right,
So we stayed away from those tools and resources that were made available. But when we went to work and we stuck our wallet in our back pocket, we always made sure we had our ID card on us, right?
Yes.
Right.
So maybe that's the angle you need to push to all your veterans is get their VA ID card because you're not taking care of yourself. You're helping your next brother.
That's
Right.
correct, yes.
And we'll talk more about that when we come back on the break. From the break.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Jerry Roberts. What's happening in the workplace? What about your job and career? What ideas will find their way into your world? That's what you get with the Extra Point every day on The Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 FM. Sometimes it's about what's in the news, or working relationships, or how to get further and do better. I try to make it interesting, inspiring, and hopefully sneak a little fun in too. Be a part of it. 7:25 weekday mornings. The Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
Kim Anderson from Security Title here. When it comes to your real estate transactions, let us take care of the details so you can focus on what really matters, celebrating the season with family and friends. Our team of experts are dedicated to ensuring a seamless experience from start to finish. Happy holidays from all of us at Security Title, your trusted partner in real estate.
And we're back.
Okay, and let's continue a little bit more. So I think we were talking about, getting up to the CBOC and registering, right? And that's generally what we've been pushing, and we continue to push at our boot camps, our chatting with the coaches, and then on the radio show, we're constantly pushing that out so we can get all our veterans to get up there. And our biggest violators are those that are retired.
Yes.
And out here on Guam, it has been their custom that, I'm retired, I get to go into the Naval Hospital and I get the best care ever. And what they don't understand is that the ground is here, and right above the ground, that's where they're at when it comes to priority. So everybody else is above them. And the Naval Hospital is more geared to the active duty and their families, and prepping all the folks around that before they start saying, hey, let's take care of our retirees, much less our veterans. And what we've been trying to remind them is to get off island as a retiree, the only way you get off island is if you are medevaced out of here. Right. Now, if you're under the VA system, the VA can fly you and somebody with you if need be, and that's all paid for by the VA. And this is why we push the need for, registering, like we said, and taking advantage of that. We have a very good system. It's just sometimes we don't always get all the information that we need to understand what the processes are and how things work, and everybody's different. So what we also wanted to touch on is the arrival of the VA out here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And with us out here, right, we're dealing with things that may not be as prevalent where you're from, right? When we talk about needing to have a hospital or needing to have a medical facility, right? If you're in Connecticut, you can drive an hour from one facility and maybe end up in another one, another VA facility without, having to worry as much. Now, out here, we cannot drive an hour anywhere to get to another VA facility. All we have is the VA facility that's here and the Naval Hospital. So there is no VA hospital out here. Now, there are programs that allow us to get the care that we need through care in the community, and of course, whatever other arrangements that the VA has made with local healthcare providers. So with that in mind, that's one of the things that we talk about here. Many people will tell me, we will never get a hospital out here. And if you read the article that I put in the paper, it talks about Chino, California and Chico, California. I read it. And there are a couple of people that have told me, oh, you're Chico or you're Chino. That's what they want to call me because I bring that up. And it's okay that they make fun of it, but what I want to make sure of is that they know that when I say Chico and Chino, California have less veterans than the people here on Guam, and yet they have a facility that's double the size of what we have with more amenities and more programs there, the question is not to take it away from them. It's to say, look, we're able to do this when there are smaller numbers. So if that's the case, what we should be doing is maybe looking at that and trying to follow what they did so that we can get the same outcome. So that's something that we should be talking about. When we talk about that 1 hour flight or 1 hour away or being able to drive somewhere, right, you're able to do that stateside, and we can't do that here. So the need is greater here with respect to not being able to get to somewhere. Now, I was made to believe that our federal government and the Department of Veterans Affairs are really, really happy about paying large sums of money to fly our veterans to Hawaii. So it seems to me that it's okay to do that. Now, you mentioned 73 million earlier. If we had 73 million, we probably won't be flying our veterans to Hawaii, right? And at the same token, flying them out there, that's pretty expensive. I don't know if you know how much a ticket costs one way. It's
We're getting ready to make that trip ourselves. That's our next stop on Thursday. So.
Okay. And with that in mind, right, these are just a few of the things that we're talking about. We talk about hospital because since we've been doing this the past 4 years and you ask a veteran, what is one thing that you want on Guam? And most veterans on Guam will say, we want a hospital. Now, whether that happens or how it happens is a different animal. Building a hospital is not just like, hey, here's a room and here's some, medical people and we'll be fine, right? That's not how that works, right? There are more things that are required to build a hospital, get specialty clinics in there, get doctors in there, and things of the sort. So it's just something we're asking for, right? And if a veteran says, hey, that's what I want, let's talk about it. How do we get it? What do we need? And there are ways to get to it. So.
Oh, I just want to say hello to the people watching us online on Facebook. Auntie Bennett says hi and hello, Auntie Bennett. I see you every morning. Marvin Chrysostomo, what is that? What is that thing there? That?
Oh. It's like
okay.
power or
and then Charlie Hermosa says, good evening, guys. So you said earlier that you didn't know what it was we're talking about. So the Advisory Committee on U.S. Outlying Areas and Freely Associated States are going to have their meeting here. And thanks to Vice Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes, who you just came from seeing, and Senator-elect Vince Borja, they fought for it to have it here in Guam. For the powers that be said, we want it in Hawaii. Nowhere in that I just read has Hawaii in there. So why would they have it there?
Right. No. I mean, I'm very familiar with that coalition as a whole and everything. But as far as their overall discussions and their plans and logistics and all that stuff and everything, that we're not aware of. But we are aware of such a meeting taking place and everything. So that's where I sat back and we mentioned with the senator that we'll pull up some information. We have some information to our avail that we'll share with her. But once again, there's the awareness. In my opinion, this I know I can say because it's published in the GAO report and everything that I was reading. Okay, so you've read the report.
Yes, we have.
So you can see where the government has identified the situation. Okay. That's it. Okay. No, am I right though?
No, yeah.
But so now the American Legion, as far as the American Legion goes, we're resolution driven. Everything that we do, everything that we advocate for, is based on resolutions. But my suggestion, which we spoke with Chris too, we can look at things. We'll open up. We'll get information from you guys and see what kind of resolutions we can put together. But also utilize your delegate, the House of Representatives.
Yes.
Congressman Moylan.
Yeah. So, and that's the point I was trying to make is if we can put together, something nice and simple. Nice and strong. Well, not simple, but nice and strong, but clean. Work it through him, and he can.
And you're one of the three that gets to sit in Congress to talk about the issues for American Legion.
Last week of February.
Last week, every year. Last week, is it only once?
Sometimes, yeah. Well, that's when we give our testimony before Congress. Yes.
I thought I saw one like mid-year, or was that maybe just the VFW that did that?
No, during the course of the year, like when we were really pushing for the PAC Act, and when we got the other things going on, where we just had the passage, through one chamber of the Elizabeth Dole Act.
Yes.
Things like we will have our division chairman, go up and testify before Congress as well. Trying to get something through the hurdle.
So, the next step up from national commander is like Vice President of the United States. What are we waiting for?
No, it's happy wife going trying to keep my wife happy.
Well,
He's like, you're kidding, right? She's going to listen to this.
He's trying to get me in trouble.
There's a gentleman out here, Bob Kelly. I don't know if he met Bob Kelly yet. No. So Bob Kelly has been pushing, and these are some of the things we're doing. We're a little bit, disorganized out here to some extent, but then we're actually coming together. And I wanted to make sure that you knew this, but that Guam proclaimed 2024 as Year of the Veteran. Did you know that?
I was not aware of that.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, go ahead. You can show your. So,
oh wow!
Yes, and it has all the things. So, Year of the Veteran was proclaimed here, and we wanted to ensure. I sent something to the magazine, the American Legion magazine, and I don't think they like me there because they haven't responded
They haven't
back
published
to
it?
But I think
I'll look into it.
also I didn't talk too much to Chris, and Chris was saying, you got to send it to me, and we're just so busy, right? But what's nice is that we're starting to bring most of our groups together, and we're starting to do things that are a little bit different. And I think you brought that up about the way you made the money to get to what you needed in Connecticut, right? And those are some of the things we're looking at out here, right? And this could be an ask maybe from your end, and we're going to ask this of the folks that are going to be there. When it comes to having corporate sponsors, here on Guam, the corporate sponsors are not the same as they are stateside. Stateside, the corporate sponsors are plentiful. You go to big, humongous states or states that have a lot of money like Connecticut, right? And wait, by the way, aren't you from that place?
Guilty.
Oh, so very nice. Anyway, getting them to offset their federal tax liabilities by providing some of that funding here on Guam, right? Sending it to our organizations so we can do a lot of the different things that we'd like to do out here, right? A big thing we don't have out here is a lot of help with the VSOs, and I think Chris is already working on that, to bring some of the folks into the Legion to help do that. We've been working really well with the Legion, Chris, of course. I think he kind of likes us a bit, and
Little bit.
and so we've been doing a lot of the support when we come out there to the steak night. You're not going to be here for that, are you?
No.
Oh man, that's one of the biggest draws to the Legion, and they constantly support getting our organizations to come there and have meetings, and we do a lot of these things to ensure that we're taking care of each other. I don't think Chris has ever been like, oh no, I don't want to do that. He's like, how can I help? And a lot of times if the funding's not there, I'm almost certain he's pulling out of his pocket and doing a lot of good things over there. And it's the only way we can do it, right? We got to keep pushing, keep trying, and getting the things that we need. So.
And then we have more to talk about when we come back from the break. You're listening to us on The Point 93.3.
Santa's coming in. Things are looking up. Bank Pacific has rolled out Rudolph's favorite My Christmas Loan with an annual percentage rate as low as 5.4% and up to $50,000. And with our Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you have the flexibility of using your money where you want, when you want. My Christmas Loan. Contactless Visa debit card. Let's make Christmas merrier in 24. Equal opportunity lender. Credit conditions apply. 70 years of holiday cheer.
Listen to The Point anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Find your favorite stations like The Point and discover more. Music stations, local and trusted news sources, sports talk and team coverage, plus today's biggest podcasts. Find it all on the Odyssey app. AUDACY.
And we're back. You're listening to us on 93.3 The Point. You can call into 671-888-TALK. In studio with us, we have the National Commander of the American Legion, James LaCourciere, Jr. Yes. Yes.
And the commander of the American
commander of American Legion Post 1 from Guam. So before we get into it, I just want to remind everyone that's listening, if you are free December 10, 11, 12, join us at the Hyatt Regency to listen in on the session, which is open to the public on December 10, 11, 12 from 6 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. The only things that are not open is when they go visit the CBOC and when they go visit the GOVA office in Assen. However, if you want to show them how many veterans on this island, we are not opposed to you showing up in the parking lot that's very small, by the way, and show them how many veterans are there and let them not find parking. How about that? And then to the GOVA office and, I don't know, signs. Hey, we're here. We exist. We want a hospital too. We want more health care. So the things that they'll be talking about, you'll have the Deputy Executive Director for Outreach, Transition, and Economic Development. You have a briefing from the Veterans Benefits Administration. You'll have remarks from the VA Chief of Staff. You'll have a briefing conducted by the Advisory Committee Management Office. You'll have a review of the committee charter and ethics and a briefing on Veterans Health Administration. There's going to be different days, but there is room for public comment, and that will be on December 11th. No, sorry. Public comment will be December 12th. So you'll have 3 to 5 minutes to speak. However, if you're in any of our probably 50 plus veteran chat groups that we have on the island, we posted a sample letter that you can email to Mr. Bernard Johnson at fascommittee.bbaco@va.gov. The deadline is December 2nd, but of course that's December 2nd in the U.S. because here it's December 2nd.
But don't make that just be the exact. If I'm you and you got your letter, turn it in today, because that's one of the things that we don't want. So
and we want it to become
midnight.
Public record.
Yeah, because that way it gets to go there right ahead of so they'll know to expect the letter. right? But then they still have the public comment on the 12th.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, and then if you cannot join in person, we did send out the link on Teams, so it's on teams.microsoft.com. If you need more information, you can contact me. You can send me a message at 671-682-7631, and I could send you the link. So these links are only good for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They're different links. They're not the same link. I wish they were the same, but because they're different sessions and they have to record them, it will be a different link. What else? Oh, we also send out the end of year survey.
Yes. So,
And go ahead.
yeah, so with that, right, even if you're at work or you're somewhere, it doesn't hurt to sign in so that way they see the number of people signing in, and listen in when you can. If you're on a break, then you can, put an earpiece in your phone if you can get away with it. Listen to the things they're talking about, because this is the only time we are going to have somebody from the big VA here. And this is not Hawaii that's going to be here. For a long time, we keep having Hawaii come into Guam. And when Hawaii comes into Guam, it's all restricted to Guam and Hawaii issues. These are issues for Palau, FSM,
Puerto Rico.
CNMI,
Yeah,
so
CNMI.
the region, right?
And Marshall
Virgin Islands and
Marshall
American
Islands,
Samoa.
yes.
So we want that to be something that you have to take a part in this. If you are a veteran, you have to pay attention, because what we don't want is veterans saying, oh, I didn't know or I didn't hear. We're on the radio. There's something in the newspaper. It's going to be out there. We're on the chat groups. For those of you that are listening, make sure you tell everybody to get involved. Sign up, turn in your pay. At the very minimum, turn in a statement. My name is Joe Blow, and this is what I think. And let those messages go in. Call in on the public discussion, right? Where you
Yes.
can forum where you could talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, when they had the meeting in Puerto Rico last year, the same committee, you and I and Steve were on air, and we put our public comment in, and we
Yes.
wanted to say, hey, we're from Guam, and unfortunately due to the time difference, but now they're going to be here. So the veterans need to be involved.
And we believe that that's going to be recorded somehow. And, there's some dynamics here with the change of the presidential, seat, right? We're going to have a new president coming in. The old one is going out. And I think the folks that are going to be there next week are probably folks from the current administration. Now, who knows? We might just see those guys in the next 4 years after Trump is out, because President Trump only sits for 4 years because he can't run again. So in the event the Democrats win, we may be seeing the same people right back in the same seats. And, we would like to ensure that our message is there and that we understand that that's something that they're looking at. Should we allow the commander to say a few more things and introduce some of his friends that are with him so that their wives know that they're here?
Oh, yes. Let me say hello to those, the ones joining us again. So Johnny Atulai Taitsuno says, good evening from Bobby and me, or me and Bobby. Brendan Fausto gives us a salute, the Guam flag and the U.S. flag. And then, good evening, y'all veteran warfighters and Mr. Joe.
Hello, everyone. All right, so shall we have the commander tell us a little bit more about some plans that they have? And the next time in February, he's going to be mentioning Guam when he's there in Congress.
Yes.
I'll mention Guam right now. But I do want to start by recognizing two people that have been with us the past week of that. Because like I said, we just came in from Taiwan.
Oh, wow.
But I have with me my aide, Harry Butch Hansen from Connecticut.
Okay.
He travels with me for the whole entire year. And from our Washington, D.C. office, I have our from National Security, our policy advisor.
Awesome.
All right.
Man.
Ariel De Jesus.
So you brought some heavy hitters.
They brought me.
Well, this is really great. I'm glad, I don't know when the last national commander has ever come to Guam.
Me neither.
Well, it's been quite some time. They mentioned it. So when we had the opportunity, and Ariel mentioned it to me, I said, yeah, absolutely.
And
I would love to.
And as often as maybe we can even just be in contact to, we're a little tiny place, right? And with what we're looking for, right? I mean, I don't know if you've been up to Camp Blas, but
I haven't. We're doing that tomorrow. Or I think it's tomorrow or the next day.
maybe is what I heard. But you might be coming to our task force meeting. So
Maybe.
if well, we find ways to incentivize you. We know people on this island. There could be a patrol car watching you, and they'll bring you straight down to our meeting. No, I'm kidding.
But he wants to meet Mr. Gilkey.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you know Mr. Gelke?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure I will.
But it's almost a city up there that's all tucked away all by itself. They're going to be putting like 5,000 Marines up there. And you know what? And all the supporting cast. Here's the thing, though. There are some villages that don't even have 5,000 people in them. Some of them, even combined, they don't have 5,000 people.
We're going to be overwhelming them.
Well, I mean, it just means that the size of that is humongous, right? And with one swift stroke of a pen, Congress dropped billions up there. And, you know, I think what would be good for us is to maybe take advantage of that buildup to maybe bring more things here. And here's the thing. Many of these veterans that are coming may be married to, of active duty people may be married to veterans. And how we get those folks to register in our CBOC is going to be helpful for us because it brings services and numbers go up. All the folks that we've been running into that work up there who are like contractors, there's a huge number of veterans that come in, but yet we're not taking advantage of those numbers. And we're capturing some of them and we're bringing them to the CBOC to get them to register. You know, and that also helps us. But it's also a story to tell to the Department of Veterans Affairs that, hey, look, guys, this buildup is bringing more veterans around us than just the veterans that are here. And if we're needing more resources, that's one way to also put that picture, if you will.
Absolutely, and that's what we're talking to the senator about. You know, is we got to have a better means of accountability. You know, and I don't care what kind of accountability or what platform they want to use, but you got to have real clean numbers. You know, I mean.
And here's my offer to you. We still have our radio station for our show here on this radio station. Whenever we're on, you're always welcome to call in, and you're always invited. If you have something you want to impart to us through Chris or even by yourself, we'll gladly have you on the show. Just give us an email, call, whatever it is, and say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what we'd like to share with you. We'll drag Chris in here, whether he likes it or not, since you're the national commander. We'll get him to say the things you want him to say.
I appreciate that, but I also gave you all of my contact information, too.
Yes, thank you.
I believe in keeping ongoing collaborations going and everything. You know.
And this nice cool
that's
little...
the Be the One pen. You know, that's our number one mission with the American Legion. The Be the One. It's be the one to save the life of a veteran.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Okay. So that's what it's all about, is we're trying to reduce the veteran suicide rate.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
destigmatize.
Yes.
You know, mental health and everything. And by keeping the Be the One in the forefront, you know, that's through educating ourselves, educating our neighbors, educating the community, you know, what it takes to save the life.
Okay. And you have anything else you want to tell us before you go, or you want to say hi?
Or
to
say hello to anyone, yeah.
Good night, everybody. I just wish everybody a wonderful evening and everything. The American Legion family, I love you. I'm trying to represent the organization the best I can and everything. And I'm just trying to get around to the veterans and veteran agencies and veteran communities and military installations to find out what's going on, because I'm maintaining the focus this year on the quality of life for the veterans and their families.
Awesome. So. And keep us posted through Chris, and we'll do what we can out here, too.
And I'd like to invite everybody to come to the American Legion tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
All right.
So we can have a meet and greet, and you can get a chance to talk to this handsome gentleman I'm sitting next to right now. You know, he's even more entertaining live.
All right. Anything else we got?
No. Well, we'll see you next weekend. Thank you for coming on air with us.
Thank you both very much.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's
Thank
an
you.
honor to have you here. And, you know, there's not much else that we got to do, so we'll meet you tomorrow, as well as everybody else that's here in town. And thank you again for gracing us with your presence here.
Thank you both.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Good night.
All right, let's take a picture.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
A full and unconditional pardon. I'm Sue Guzman, Fox News. President Biden pardoned